Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, hello, welcome. This is Essential Patience and I am Patience. And in today's video, I'll be talking about the ugly parts of the natural hair journey. And this is not to say that wearing natural hair is ugly or stuff. I'm using that word loosely, but basically the not so pretty parts of it. But before we get to this video, remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's get straight in. When a lot of us are deciding to go into a natural hair journey, it's sometimes a romanticized version of what it would look like. It is a unique journey versus other hair types, especially if you fall more into the type 4 hair. That's something that you are looking to go on or something that you're on. I just wanted to express, what I went through, what I see other people go through as well, to know that you are not alone and it's not always going to be fun, but there is a bright side to it. It is not something that should deter you from continuing on the natural hair journey. So let's get straight into the list. Starting with the first one is the awkward TWA phase, which is teeny weeny afro. When you get into that part of your journey, if you're starting from, let's say, a big chop or very little hair or no hair at all, I started with maybe about half an inch of hair in July of 2018. That was my last haircut. I didn't really like the haircut. I thought this would be my last haircut. It was kind of awkward after, let's say, the first year, because at first it was just in a short hairstyle. But after the year, when my hair started to grow beyond what would be considered really short hair, now it's getting to the more smaller afro. The awkward part about it is that when you wake up, you have to decide, okay, am I gonna comb my hair out to be an afro? How am I gonna sustain that afro throughout the day and then throughout, the week? What hairstyles am I going to use to balance it out? I personally did not really do many hairstyles, so I had to either do a puff or just like pat my hair down. And this occurred all the way in 2019 till the pandemic happened, when I was home. It was less awkward and I didn't have to always figure out what I wanted to do with my hair. But when I didn't know what to do, I often resorted to a puff, which puffs can be damaging. I posted a video talking about the most damaging hairstyles, and puffs can be it if you're doing it too often. And I did see that it was affecting the back of my hair at the time that I was doing it, but then also feeling a lot of heat in the middle of my head. So that doesn't last forever. For me, it lasted for about a year. By 2020, my hair was kind of falling, and definitely by 2021, my hair had fallen and I could do more styles. But I was learning, and I was learning all the way from ground zero. So just know that that awkward phase really doesn't last forever, and anybody who's starting with super short hair goes through it. The second part that is not too pretty is definitely detangling. Detangling is one of those things that you just really have to get into it. If you have especially type 4 hair and it's thick, long or short, detangling is very important. And when I often have my hair out, as you can see, it's been detangled, but every night I have to literally go through and make sure I get all the tangles out before I put it into my protective stuff. But the thing about detangling, unlike the TWA phase, is that it never really goes away as long as you have natural hair. It becomes more time consuming, and it just takes much longer time the longer your hair grows. However, there are some things that you can do that I have done to reduce my time in detangling and made it a less stressful process to go through. One thing is that I just keep a lot more protective styling. I do mini braids a lot, mini twists as well, and that just helps because when my hair is in those styles, I don't need to detangle it, and when I do take it out and I just detangle it section by section, it's less stressful and it allows me to put my hair into a style like this. I just took it out of mini braids a couple of days ago. And when I'm about to wash my hair, I pre-poo it. Pre-pooing has definitely changed my outlook on detangling, and it's definitely helped it the longer my hair got. I didn't start incorporating pre-poo into my wash day routine until about 2022, and I'm so glad I did because it's definitely helped. And you can watch my how I grew my hair video for step by step as to what I did in each phase. It's like documenting 5 years of hair growth. The next struggle will definitely be the drying time, how long it takes to dry your hair after you wash it. I use heat maybe twice a year. So if you don't use heat, that means your hair has to naturally dry, and that can really take some time. It typically takes at least 2 days for my hair to get to a state of like dry, not all the way dry in the summertime, and in the wintertime it takes a lot more. If it's a super hot day, maybe I can get it done in 2 days, like super dry, but anything else, it takes quite some time. I don't remember the last time my hair dried within the same day without using heat for the past 2-3 years. It always takes a while to dry. And the best way I've come to manage that is to put it into plaits as it waits to dry. So I'll probably do about 12 plaits. They still take a good 2 to 3 days to fully dry. Typically after like 2 days I take it out and just let it dry that way. But if I don't put it into the plaits, then my hair dries in a shrunken state and then I have to like detangle it. So just that whole process of the drying and the stretch state, heat, you would have to decide what's best for you. And the next part is also related to heat because it is dealing with how to style your hair without heat. Whether it's like blow drying your hair to put them into braids or twist or plait, or blow drying your hair to do a slick back bun, silk press. How are you managing the heat on your hair and what styles can you do without utilizing heat? The best way that I've come up with is that after I do take my hair out of those plaits, I then put them into protective styling like a day or 2 after. Being able to do that in a stretch state, being able to band my hair or braid it up into plaits, that really helps me to take it out, comb it, and then be able to put in my mini braids or my twist. Because if I had to style every time with heat, I do think it will compromise the health of my hair. It's one of those things that once you figure it out, it helps you out. But when in doubt, just know that you can always band your hair, take it out, and then it'll be stretched enough for you to do your protective style or whatever style you plan to do. The next part of natural hair journey that is not so pretty is the unequal length in your hair. So if you look at my hair right now, you can definitely tell that the length is not equal. The back is definitely longer than the front, which I think makes more sense because I don't have a blunt cut. The top of my hair is higher than the back of my head. You also struggle with when you do certain style, the hair isn't always in the same length because of also shrinkage. I have different hair types in my head and currently it's in a stretch state, but even when I stretch it, different parts stretch differently. So when you have it in its more natural state without the stretch, you're definitely gonna have parts that shrink more than others. Personally, for me, the front of my head shrinks way more than the side and the back of my head. And so that's something that you really have to navigate. When I get my silk press, I don't do a blunt cut because I know when it gets back into this natural state, it's gonna look very different. Finding styles that would complement the way your hair shrinks, the way your hair naturally falls, would really benefit you in finding how to best work with it. I'm okay with it because I just follow what my hair is doing and I give it the space to grow the way it does because some parts of my hair grows longer than the other. And when you become okay with that and find the best way to deal with it, you would really start to enjoy your hair and not try to force it to be something that it's not. The next one is getting to know the best way to trim your hair in its natural state. Trimming the natural state is bold, and that's why I get one professional trim a year when I get a silk press, because I want that to be a really good even trim that really takes off any split ends that I have. Our hair is going to split sometimes, so you definitely want to keep it off, but during the year I still trim my hair from time to time. Finding the best way to trim it in its natural state is hard. Again, shrinkage. So shrinkage gives it a different length. So when I put my hair down, you can see it like goes down. If I'm trying to just take it and cut it, I wouldn't know where to start and where to end it. But the best solution that works for me is that when I do my mini braids, if I see that the bottom is like not so great, I would just take some hair scissors and cut it off. Really one of the best ways that work for me because at that time I'm like stretching the hair, I'm doing the plait. It's getting all the way to the bottom and I can really see it. So finding the best way to keep your hair trimmed without actually having to use heat to make sure that the ends look healthy, find the best trimming routine for you. I do know there's people who don't use heat at all. They have found the best way for them to trim in its natural state, so it's definitely possible. The next thing that is really not so pretty is finding the best way to protect your hair at night or a nighttime routine that would benefit the health of your hair. About the end of 2018, maybe 2019, I started to really feel like she would protect my hair at night. Before that, I didn't know, I just used to go to bed. Started wearing a bonnet, and then later I got a silk scarf, and those have been good ways to protect my hair. At that time when it was shorter and I could literally just slap on a bonnet and go to bed. Today I can't do that. Well, I can, but when I wake up it's gonna be a hot mess. But for years I found different ways to protect my hair as I go to bed, to also ensure that when I wake up in the morning my hair is going to be in a pretty good state and I wouldn't have to do much to it to go out. What I've been doing recently is either putting it in 4 sections of plaits or banding. Banding is one of the best things I've been doing for years. Right now the hair you see is a result of banding. So I banded my hair in 4 sections last night and then I literally took the bands out. It is like really nicely stretched. I didn't put any products in it today. When I take my hair out of mini braids, I band it and that keeps them detangled. But it gives it a nice look to it for me to take it out, have the hair just be ready and I'm ready to go. And sometimes I do separate it to give it like a big hair look. But I have been also enjoying like a more simpler hair look versus having my hair like way too big. It sometimes gets there naturally on its own, so I'm definitely not helping it get there quicker. The next part that is really not so pretty is finding the right products for you. If you go back into my natural hair video of how I grew my hair, I definitely gave you a list of all the products I use from year to year. I was very detailed in that video. And you can see that each year I changed products. I experimented with new products, and that's something that you should not be afraid to try it. My only rule is that for products, as long as it's not damaging my hair, I finish the products before I move on to the next one, because we don't want to turn into product junkies and we don't want to waste products. So it's really important for me to buy products that I already know the ingredients to make sure that even if it's not doing the best for my hair, I'm still able to finish the product or add it to something else to reuse it rather than waste it. One of the products that I definitely finished but would never buy again was the Cantu leave-in conditioner. I used to use that for about 2 years, but then the second time that I bought it, which I actually bought several of them, I probably bought like 4 of them, I found that they were using rubbing alcohol and it felt so weird. When I first bought the Cantu leave-in conditioner, because that's what I started with, it felt different on my hair, it felt great. But then after they added rubbing alcohol, after they changed the formula, I was just so not feeling the product anymore. But I did still finish the product. Obviously, didn't ruin my hair. I was able to move on to the next product using Shea Moisture leave-in conditioner. So making sure you find the products that work for you, and it doesn't always have to be a naturally specific product. Currently, my shampoo is the Aussie shampoo, and I have in that video, you can go look at all the products. Hopefully in the future I will do an updated video on like the products I use. I use the Aussie shampoo, the Aussie deep conditioner. Those are not some things that come to mind when we're thinking about natural hair, but it works for me, so that's why I continue to use it. The next thing about the natural hair journey that may not seem so pretty is finding ways to prevent damage and to retain length. Now, this is not always as easy as we make it to be or we think it should be, because you may have a favorite hairstyle, but then that hairstyle is damaging. So what are you going to do? Not do the hairstyle anymore? Limited. There's some people who continue to do it. 2023, and there are people who are still braiding the scalp of their head. Like, we still see people braiding so tightly. We still see people doing super heavy tension, heavy hairstyles. And we would think that we would have evolved from that, from all that we have learned, but people still do it because maybe they just like the way the style looks. Finding ways to adjust your hair routine styles to prevent damage is not an easy thing. And even taking steps to maintain that when I'm tired, when I come back from work, just even taking that like 15-20 minutes to detangle my hair, I don't always feel like it, but I still know that if I don't do this, I'm going to potentially cause damage to my hair. Sit down and just do it and be done with it. It's better than what it otherwise would have been. Taking the time to reduce heat if you need to. Maybe not silk pressing your hair every single month. Even though that's what's easiest for you, it may not always be what's the best for the health of your hair. And last but absolutely not the least is public and people's perception of your hair. People are not always going to have the nicest and kindest things to say about your hair, but it's about standing firm in who you are and your identity. I'm really proud of my hair, and I've always loved my hair. Even when it was like in its shortest state, I knew that was the hair God gave me, and I'm really proud of it. I don't want to change the curl pattern of my hair. I don't want to change what my hair looks like, because if God wanted me to have any other type of hair, he would have given it to me. People don't always see it that way. There are people who would say your hair is not done, call it names, negative things to say about you and your hair, and think that it's not neat, it's not professional. But at the end of the day, you have to stay firm in your identity and in the natural state of your hair. There's no reason why natural hair should be controversial. There's no reason why natural hair should be going against the grain. Most Black people have type 4 hairs. What is going against the grain about you naturally showing the way God made you in his image? What is controversial about that? But people don't always see it that way. And it's not even just like white people, people of other races. It's sometimes even Black people who would have the most negative and like audacity to say stuff to you. When you overcome it and you don't take it personal, there's a reward to it, and a reward to loving your hair, because you can't just keep hating your hair and expect it to grow. Love journey as well. It's a journey about loving yourself, accepting yourself, and knowing that your hair is not perfect. Nothing is, but there's a beauty to it. When you're able to love it, you're able to nurture it. It's a part of being kind to yourself. So be kind to yourself. Be kind to your hair. Be gentle with it. Don't be out here combing it aggressively because you're mad that you have to detangle it, but then still expect your hair to grow and to flourish when you're obviously damaging it in the detangling process. So there's a point of self-acceptance in this journey. As long as you're going through growing your even if you should call it a journey, there's a point in making sure that you give it your all, a lovely relationship rather than one of not so good emotions. Because I really believe that your hair can feel it. Just as when you're stressed, your body can feel it. I really do think that when you think negative thoughts and you hate your hair can feel it. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but that's my personal feeling. So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And remember to ring the notification bell because I post 2 videos a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.